My study is called Deeper Than the Ink, an investigation of memorial tattoos. And obviously the study is on memorial tattoos. And the reason why I became interested in memorial tattoos is I had experienced a profound loss in my life. My mother passed away, and I noticed that a lot of people in my life, to commemorate the passing of my mother, were commemorating her through memorial tattoos. And a lot of people around me found that that was a really important way for them to grieve. They said it offered them something that nothing else had. And I thought about it a lot, and I think it's something that is really important because grief leaves a mark on our soul, losing someone we love, and a tattoo leaves a mark on our skin. So I think it's really important to investigate that someone chooses to represent this painful loss that they've experienced like a scar on their skin, where it's visible and it's represented as a part of who they are, and it's impossible to separate from a part of who you are because grief fundamentally changes a big part about you. I approached Dr. Vernon about being my supervisor last year when I was in her death and dying class. I met her and I was like, this woman has to be my supervisor. And so I approached her and I told her about my idea, and she thought it was really interesting and she agreed to be my supervisor. And so I began working on it all summer last year, so the summer of 2015. And then I spent the entire summer doing the lit review, and yeah. So I have 3 ways of recruiting participants. I have posters around Mount Royal, which I'm sure some of the people who will watch this video have seen. I also had in-class presentations that I did, and they took about 5 minutes, and I would just approach professors who I had taken classes with previously, and I asked them if I could go in and talk about what my study was about, and I would leave little flyers for people to take with them if they wanted to participate. And I also recruited people through the SONA system, which I didn't get very many through there, which is to be expected because it is such a specific person that I'm looking for, but so I had 3 different ways of doing it. I think to just drive home the point that memorial tattoos are so personal and so deep to the individual griever. My memorial tattoo right here, which says "Nothing Owed" in my own handwriting, was meant to commemorate the loss of my own mother, and a reminder to myself of that the world owes me nothing and I owe the world nothing, and that through the loss of my mother I could learn how to navigate the world in a much more honest and true way to myself. And that's only a small snippet of my own story, but I think as you guys listen to my research, you'll see how deep and colorful and rich memorial tattoos can be, and that it's not just as simple as nothing owed. There are layers to it which represent the depth of the individual representing the tattoo. Yeah. I think people who choose to get a memorial tattoo, I think it's a very brave and a very beautiful way to represent the loss that you have experienced. And as I mentioned before, death leaves a mark on your soul when you lose someone you love, and a tattoo leaves a mark on your skin. And I think the people who do choose to get a memorial tattoo are trying to make that connect. And when you fall downstairs and you cut yourself, you have that scar from that. But when you lose someone, it's not physical. And I feel like what these people are doing is they're taking what has happened to them, which is it is so physical, but it's not visible, if that makes sense. When you're grieving, you feel it, but other people can't necessarily see it. And I think these people are very brave in that they choose to take what's happened to them, take it in, choose how they want to represent it and then do that on their body. And I think that takes a lot of guts, because people are going to ask you about a tattoo no matter what. Like, even if it's in a very personal place, if you go to the beach, people will see it. And I think it's beautiful, and I think it's very brave. And that's what I think people will get out of my research, is that there's so much depth beyond someone just getting a tattoo for their grandma or a tattoo for their mom or their dog. They got it because that dog had been there their entire life, or they got it because their grandparent had offered them so much comfort. And I think it's important not to minimize what that person has been through and how they are choosing to mark it on their skin. Some other research that I would suggest would be investigating memorial tattoos beyond death. The reason why I chose death is because of my own personal interest, as well as it's, as much as it might sound kind of insensitive, death is a very easy thing to define as a loss, right? But it's harder to define a memorial tattoo for the divorce of your parents. So I think future research could focus on a memorial tattoo meant to commemorate even the loss of childhood, the loss of innocence, the loss of your parents' marriage, or anything like that. Even people after the flood, I'm sure, got tattoos to represent their loss that they went through. So I think that would be a really important and interesting way for the research to develop in the future. Hey guys, my name is Kathleen O'Reilly, and my research is Deeper Than the Ink, an investigation of memorial tattoos. Be sure to check my study out on April 6th at Research16 here at Mount Royal. Thanks.